Hi. We'll just say I'm okay. I'm not, though. Just need to get this resolved. I don't know what you know and what you've been informed.
Okay, so I have had a quick look at your file, but I wanted to speak to you first.
Okay.
You said that you want to get this solved, and I just want to hear your side of it first.
Okay. So it began where I rented a truck, a Penske 16-foot truck from Toronto, and I drove it. My destination was to Calgary, and it broke down mechanically in a place called Gladstone, Manitoba, and like lights were coming on, and so I called Penske's 1-800 number. They sent somebody out on that site. He looked over it quickly. Didn't bring the right equipment with him, but he checked underneath the truck with a jack so that he could get underneath it. He said he didn't see anything that was wrong, and so he told me that it should be good to keep going. So I did, and then lights came on again in Saskatchewan, in Moosomin, Saskatchewan, and I ended up getting the vehicle called Penske, so I didn't do this myself. Had the vehicle towed to a repair shop, and what happened was the tow truck driver, he put the vehicle on the tow hoist, and then he pulled over to attend to another vehicle that was stuck in a snowbank, and he pulled it out and then put my vehicle right back up on it. So my vehicle was in fact towed twice. It was pretty much like off-roading, so once he picked me up, we went to back roads to get to his shop, or a shop. I don't know if it was his shop, I think it was somebody else's shop, but my vehicle contents were basically mangled in this trip. We're going down.
Dana,
Yeah.
Can I just interrupt you for just a second? I
Yeah.
just want to back up. So you said that basically you took the vehicle to after Saskatchewan, you took the vehicle to the repair shop, and the tow truck driver came, and what happened after that? Did he disconnect or dislodge your vehicle to help the other vehicle out of snowbank?
Essentially, my vehicle was towed twice within an hour's time. And I think that's where we got a really substantial amount of damage. My vehicle, he came and picked me up, and I wasn't even thinking about it. I don't think he was thinking about it. I think it was just an accident. Okay, so the second...
So your vehicle was towed twice, and your contents, you believe, were damaged when?
Okay, so all of them during this time. So what happened was he picked me up, put the vehicle on the hoist, drove probably 15 minutes, put my vehicle down, picked up another vehicle, and pulled it out of the snowbank, then got my vehicle back up and took it to Davidson's repair shop. And going from that accident, like with the other car, into the repair shop, we were going down a very, very, I don't think I've ever been on a road that's more bumpy than that road. So we get to the repair shop, and then he drops me off at a hotel, and I stayed the night at this hotel in Saskatchewan. And the next morning I asked how the vehicle's doing. They said they're probably going to need to keep it another night, and they found all this stuff wrong with it. And so I had the manager of that hotel, and her name is Kim, and I spoke with her, hoping that she could just verify to Colleen and Colleen to call her. I actually gave her the phone number, that she drove me out to the repair, Davidson's Towing Auto Body Shop, the next day, and I was going to get my computer out of the back of the truck, and I didn't get it because I couldn't open the back any more than a foot and a little bit. So it was impossible to get anything out. I could see that it was a complete disaster. There was some sort of substance all over my belongings back there. At the time, I thought it was a fire extinguisher that went off, because I had that back there, but I didn't know for sure. It was a mangled disaster just from what I could see. I went back into the car and I told this manager of the hotel that, and we just went back to the hotel. I didn't get my computer, so she was aware that there was instant damages. And then I stayed another night and I was waiting to get the vehicle back, and I didn't get the vehicle back until about 5:30 that evening. So essentially in like the 3 days were taken, away from my time that I'd rented the vehicle, and I was 3 days behind schedule. So at that point, the contract, in my opinion, was breached. So what happened was I continued driving, and I drove to Alberta, and I knew the contents were a mess, and I came to Edmonton first because my son lives in Edmonton and my parents live in Edmonton, and I had some gifts for them, and I was going to have him help me get everything organized. And as I was coming towards Edmonton, I was just before Sherwood Park, lights started to go back on again, and I was like, oh great, this is like the third time this has happened. So I called Penske again. I told them about that. I also told them that my back hatch was not opening, so I'm going to need some help to get that opened, because all the contents had shifted so badly we couldn't even open the door. So they sent a repairman out to unblock the door for me, and he did that in Edmonton, and instantly it was just a disaster. And so then I called the guy that I rented it from, Mohammed, and the manager of Penske in Toronto, and he told me that I could bring it in. The guy that came and repaired it said he recommended also it get brought in. At this point, we had the service stability track, the service traction control, and then the engine light came on after, the next day. So what happened was the guy that came out to get it said, you want to take all this stuff out of the cab if you bring it in. So I took my stuff and put it into a storage unit in Edmonton, and as I was unpacking stuff, I took photos. I noticed lots of stuff was damaged, and in doing so, I had bruises all over my body, and I broke my rib. I broke my 9th rib undoing this, moving this stuff into this storage unit. Took 2 days. I had some friends come out and help me with the heavy stuff. They pretty much did that, because at that point my rib was too sore. And so I've been trying to get in touch with insurance and how to deal with this. The whole insurance claim was a complete runaround. It was very difficult, even just to get to Colleen. I went through about 5 or 6 different people, and I finally got through to Colleen, and she said this was where I was supposed to be at, and so that started the ball rolling on that. I've been stranded here in Edmonton, and I just feel like I've been getting the runaround, and I haven't gotten anywhere with Colleen and Shailene, who was appointed by Colleen here in Edmonton to talk to me and meet with me, and she did. She came out to the storage unit. I gave her a recorded statement, which I later was told I shouldn't have done, but I didn't say anything that, I thought I didn't say. It's never good to say a recorded statement. I've learned that. But because she did say, she said, you moved the stuff on your own, and I felt like the blame was starting to be shifted and put on me, because she's like, you didn't use strapping to strap it down. And I said, well, Shailene, there's no straps. No amount of straps would have saved anything from a two towings. And so I felt like the blame was starting to be turned away from Penske's tow truck and the repairs, because it isn't just the tow truck, it's the timing and the repairs that have, through my schedule off now 6 months, which is completely unacceptable. And finally, I just am like, I can't do this anymore. I need somebody to step in because I'm getting absolutely nowhere with Shailene and Colleen. And so I don't know what the next step is. I feel like I'm going around in circles. Like I'm asking them, who the insurance company is. I called the superintendent of insurance yesterday, and they said that they would need the insurance company name. And then Colleen I've asked her that probably 7 times, and I haven't got a response, and she keeps saying there is no insurance company, it's directly through me. And I'm like, well, please explain how, because I was always under the understanding this was insurance, and even Shailene's been calling it insurance. And no one's talking to me. They've decided to communicate by email, which is answering 1 out of my 10 questions every time I send an email. So it's stupid for me to continue emailing them because they're not answering what I'm looking for in answers. They're not understanding what happened. Colleen was thought I got towed in Alberta as well as in Saskatchewan, and I said no, both tows were in Saskatchewan. Actually, no, that was Shailene that thought that. And then Colleen wrote in an email, well, you were only stuck in Saskatchewan for 1 day. And I'm like, no, actually it was 3 days. And then they started saying, well, because I'm asking them to pay for my hotel accommodations immediately here in Edmonton. Colleen said, well, you didn't have the vehicle towed in Edmonton, so we aren't going to cover your hotels. I'm like, I could have had it towed. I just didn't because I made it to the city and I wasn't afraid of breaking down anymore like I was when I was in Saskatchewan and this happened to me. I could have had it towed. I should have. It said right on Google to, if those lights come up, to not drive it and have it towed. But I knew from the Davidson guys it cost $750 to tow a vehicle like that. He told me. So and under Mohammed's instruction, I dropped it off at the Penske dealership here, and it took until the 21st of the next month to fix. So I literally just on the repairs alone was stranded a month. And so I'm looking for compensation. I'm looking for hotels immediately here in this displacement, and to get this resolved as quickly as possible. I've gone through and documented all of my damages that I could find. Everything's shoved into a storage unit, and Shailene and Colleen asked me to go get all the pictures of everything and do it again. And I'm like, well, I have an issue with my rib. I can still feel pain, and that's what made me go to the doctor and have them look at it. And then they told me it was broken, when the accident happened, and where the storage unit happened. So they told me that no heavy lifting for 8 to 10 more weeks, and but that Shailene and Colleen were they needed the pictures. So I did it anyway. I got the pictures, and now they're wanting a 3rd set of pictures. Shailene and her manager Sam were going to come out to the unit on Friday, and I was fine. They're like, you have to move everything out of the storage unit, and I'm like, I'm sick of moving this stuff. So you guys are going to take the same pictures, and then what? Tell me where this is going. I've asked them both by email. I have probably 50 emails asking them how this process works. What's the next step? When is this going to be resolved? Give me a date, a time frame so I can plan my life. I've had none of that. And it's I can't live like this. And then Shailene says, I gave her all of this information, and she's like, we need everything quantified. And I'm like, explain quantify. And she's like, well, break down exactly what the price was and stuff. And I did it to the best of my ability. I did a really good job. I believe I did. I put everything on a spreadsheet. I labeled up the numbers to what the items were that were damaged, the ones that I could notice, and I looked for replacement items for what these items were. She asked me for dates of when they were bought, and I told her most of them were around 2014, which is almost a decade ago. And then she's like, And I feel she did this maliciously, and this is what's really bothering me, is she knows like who keeps receipts from 2014. She's like, I need proof that you bought this and all the specific date, because you only put the year and you only put I need the specific store and the specific date and the specific price. I'm like, I don't have that. And I don't even know why that would even be an issue at this point, because it's not like my items were stolen. They're right here in front of you. You can see that they're damaged, and we're just looking for the items that are what would replace them. And at this point, and I think it was just so that she could stop, because she literally said when I couldn't, I said, I don't have receipts. I don't have that at all. And I'm not going to have that. They're just not going to appear out of thin air. And she's like, well, you don't want to give us what we're asking for, then we're just not going to do anything. And I'm like, and I'm just getting frustrated by this. It's like, I've given you everything. You're stalling, and it's a tactic that I've read about in insurance that's used to get the customer agitated and just give up. And I don't want it to be that way. I'm like, this is like unfair that this happened to me. I haven't even received an apology or even a follow-up from Penske, which is really disturbing that they haven't even called just to ask how I'm doing and if there's anything they could do. And so I'm like wondering how I proceed and who I talk to, because I literally am not getting anywhere with the way this situation's been for 6 months with Shailene and Colleen. I was in Los Angeles, and Shailene sent me a message saying that, like, after I said, I need you to put this at the top of your list, top priority, and then she sent me a message for an offer, and I flew in, and I met with her and her manager, Sam, here in Edmonton. I flew in from Los Angeles, like the next day. I booked a boarding pass, and for her to lowball me and offer me $10,000 on what contents that I've been able to add up are in, around $100,000 just for the contents of the damaged furniture. This is all luxury furniture that I have pictures of this furniture in my mansion, which I googled of like how, if you don't have receipts, what else can you use? Because I'm like, there has to be something. I can't be the only person that doesn't have receipts from 10 years ago. And so I sent all that, and like I've just been stressed out. I've literally sent 50 emails to these people, and I send them everything to both Shailene and Colleen, so they both have got everything, and they're both flipping the story back onto the other person. And Shailene would be like, I don't have the authority to deal with this, and then Colleen was like, I can't deal with this, and Shailene's dealing with this, and it's a back and forth nightmare. So I'm not getting nowhere. So I have to look for, hopefully you can help me here, a way to get this taken care of, because no one's even sat down and talked. The two of them are so concerned with this furniture damage that's in my truck. There's so much other damage. Like, I have an injured rib. I've been displaced and stuck in Edmonton. I have an online store that has not been functionable. I have had no computer, internet. Like, it's just been, there's a lot of things that have gone wrong, and it's been 6 months of this, and no one's rectifying this, no one's making it better for me. And I decided, what, I have to take this up a level and see if there's somebody else out there that can make results happen, because I don't want to be stuck in Edmonton anymore. It's like I'm stranded. I can't leave, because if I leave, I can't take this. I don't, firstly, for 3 reasons. Shailene's asked me, why haven't you moved the stuff in the storage unit? And I said, well, because you guys are going to blame me and say I damaged it by moving it from here to another place. I also was injured. I also have had no direction as to how this process works. I have asked them multiple times in email, and I can verify that I've asked that question. I've had no guidance as to what to do next, and I don't want a whole bunch of damaged furniture. Nobody would want that. So when I had my insurance claim from my flood in my home, I watched how that was handled, and it was, the people were out there, insurance was out there the next day. They took away all the damaged items, and then they paid me for them, and it was done so quickly. And I just have had really, a bad feeling about this. And then, the letter I got was from Shailene when I returned from Los Angeles, was just that. It was like, you know, you didn't strap the items down. I'm like, whoa, don't you be blaming me for that. Even if I didn't, it doesn't affect this is not my negligence. This is the tow truck and also the breakdown. It's both. So yeah, that's kind of a rundown of what happened.
All right, that's pretty good. I thank you for that. Let me please apologize on behalf of Penske. You said that you didn't even hear from Penske. I want to do a few things. There's a couple of points that I wanted to get some clarification on.
Okay.
So the tow truck, it sounds like you're telling me that the tow truck was a Penske tow truck, or was it independent?
No,
company?
it was an independent company, but it was sent by Penske. So I didn't call a random tow truck company number. I called Penske, and they sent the tow truck company out. Just like they sent the repair guys out. Everything was done through Penske. There was a 1-800 number that I had, and I provided it to Colleen and Shailene, the number I called. I actually have, I have photos when I was in the truck of the, I was sitting in the cab of the tow truck. It was like a semi truck, so it was cool. I've never sat in one of those. And then when he pulled over, he took my vehicle down, and there was police there, and they were just pulling this. He just came to show up and pull this dude out. And I actually photographed that, so I sent that to them, and I told them it was the same guy that towed my vehicle twice within an hour of each other. I would say probably 45 minutes maybe. Yeah, on the same night. So the towing, and then Shailene was saying, the towing happened in Edmonton and in Saskatchewan, and I'm like, you guys aren't even listening to the story here. Like, no.
Okay. Let me ask you this. What was your ultimate destination?
Calgary.
So Calgary being, what is that, 1 or 2 hours away, is it, from Edmonton?
3 hours away, yeah.
3 hours. 3 hours from Edmonton.
Yeah. Where are you? You're in Toronto, right?
Yeah, I'm in Toronto, but I've been to Alberta, I've been to Edmonton, I've been to Calgary, and I'm pretty familiar with the distances there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my thoughts, and after all the breakdowns, I was not feeling safe with taking this vehicle from Edmonton with all these lights on down to Calgary, and I've assumed more than likely it would break down somewhere along the way, and that wouldn't be, I'd be in the same situation as I was in Saskatoon.
All right, let's talk about another few things that I'm hearing that you didn't get out of all of this experience up to this point in time. First and foremost, do you know who you're speaking to? I'm Colleen's supervisor.
Okay.
I'm the supervisor here, so let me identify myself first and foremost.
Okay.
Okay. I'm a supervisor here at Gallagher Bassett for Penske.
Okay.
We are third-party administrators.
Okay.
We handle claims on behalf of Penske and their insurance company, who is Old Republic of Canada.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Because these are, I am concerned that you're not getting answers.
I've even asked that, who is the insurance company. I've asked Colleen that multiple times, and she's like, we're not dealing through insurance. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could have swore it was always insurance, and Shailene's referring to it as insurance, and so I don't know what Colleen thinks we're dealing with here. I don't, I'm confused.
I can see both sides. What happens is that Penske, they self-insure to a certain point.
Okay.
They self-insure. So when they say that it's not insurance, what they're really talking about is the fact that Penske self-insure up to a certain amount, and then anything over that amount would go to their insurance company. but the amounts that we're talking about
Okay.
here are not anything that the insurance company would necessarily want to be concerned with. Like,
Okay.
it's not something that would pierce their, like the amount is not something that would pierce their threshold for them to be concerned about it. They would just basically say, Penske, please handle this because it's within your either deductible or SIR.
Okay.
So that's where we're at this point. The next thing that you need to know is the claims process. You've asked what the process is, how
Right.
does this work, etc. So let me explain basically a claim 101 to you.
Okay.
Okay? What happens in any claim that's made is that one, we have to obviously undertake an investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
That investigation is a lot of questions. We need a lot of answers. Some of those answers may lead to other questions. And it's all done with the purpose of trying to establish whether or not there is any liability.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I apologize if you might know some of this stuff, but I just want to make
Yeah.
sure that I explain it, from not really not but I just want to make sure that I cover up the fundamentals so that you know where it is. You might be able to figure out why certain things are happening. I might be able to provide some context on some of that as well.
Okay.
So what we're doing at this point in time, on behalf of Penske, is trying to undertake an investigation to determine their liability.
Yeah.
Okay? It sounds like some of what you've gone through, I heard you mention breach of contract.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going to go into that in just a few minutes, but, you rented a vehicle from Penske in Toronto.
Yeah.
So there is a rental contract.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to preface all of this by saying, like, I had a quick peek at your file. I just didn't want to spend half the day going through the entire file.
Yeah.
Because, I thought that it'd be more important for me to hear what you're saying, return your call, hear what you're saying,
Yeah.
and then take away some of this information and see how it is that, we can move the process forward.
Thank you. Yeah.
Because that's what I heard in your message.
Mm-hmm.
You want to try and get this resolved as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Let me listen to you and try and find out what the issues are and take that and see what can be done.
Yeah.
Okay, just a second. I'm just taking my own notes. Okay, so yes, I explained that we're trying to find out, whether or not Penske's liable, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to look and see what your contract says. I have not done that yet.
I purchased insurance through Penske. I'm under the understanding that it was just for if I was in an accident, that everything would be covered on that. And there wasn't an accident. It was
Right.
It wasn't that. And this is different. Like this is.
This has to do with the contract itself. This doesn't have anything to do with you being involved in an accident with another vehicle or with the Penske vehicle.
Yeah.
It's just the
I've been referring to it lately as an accident, like with the towing and with just the situation, but yeah.
Okay. Let me just see.
what I said to Colleen and to Shailene in both of their messages is that my vehicle should have been towed on a flatbed, or they should have known, because they've done this before. I can't be the first person that's had a vehicle breakdown, and they should have transferred the contents from one truck to another truck, either way, instead of, towing it on a regular tow, and twice.
Okay. So yes, like I was saying that, we're trying to complete the investigation. We're trying to see, whether or not there's any liability, right? That's really where all of this is going. Okay, so the other part of it, in any situation that we review, and any claim that we handle, the next thing that we're looking at is the quantum, and that was what I think you heard before. Somebody was asking you to quantify. I think it was Shailene you said.
Yeah.
Was asking you to quantify your damages, right?
Yeah. Which I did. I provided that. I did provide that. I didn't do anything with medical damages or work damages. I just did the items. I'm like, let's just get this done, and we can't even get that done. It's just been so frustrating. It's like this. It's pretty easy. I've done a very good job on, identifying the items that were broken and putting a price to it, and putting photographs to match the damages, and even photographs that were of my home, that I owned the house, or the item, so I've done my due diligence on that, and now I just feel it's just being, it's going around in circles, and it's unfair, it's frustrating, it's not right. Everything was quantified, and then when they offered me $10,000, I asked for the same in return. Quantify this $10,000. Where did this come from? They said they agreed to pay for the hotel in Saskatchewan, which was 2 nights, and she agreed to give me food for Saskatchewan. And then she agreed to $10,000, but she couldn't break down, well, where did that come from? Where did you can't just pick out a number out of the hat and say $10,000. And I was like, wow, I flew in for this. What a joke. This was a waste of my time. And I've been here. This was 2 Fridays ago that I came in for this, and I'm still here. Nothing's happened since that offer. And I'm like, I'm sitting in Edmonton doing, all I care about is this. I don't want to deal with anything else other than getting this done and dealt with, and so I can move on.
Yeah. Okay. So you were offered $10,000. They gave you somewhat of a breakdown, not a complete breakdown.
No breakdown. I mean that.
Don't always work that way.
Yeah.
I will tell you, after many years of handling insurance claims, you don't always have a specific number to break something down.
Right.
Especially when you're dealing with some abstract figures. I heard that you don't have receipts. Excuse me, I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah.
That your furniture is your own. I heard you say that it's luxury furniture. These are things that if they make it more difficult to put a figure on. And in the absence of having specific numbers to, tally up item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, there is some give and take that comes with that. You have an expectation of what it's worth, and Penske has to come up with, what it is prepared to respond to that. So what I would say, first and foremost, is don't take it personal. I understand that this is your furniture, this is your experience, you are the one that is encountering all of this. I totally get it, but what I'm trying to just open your mind to is that the other side has its own view of it as well.
Yeah.
So good faith differ from yours. So, it might be drastically different. But, each side, just as you're entitled to what you think it is, they're entitled to what they think it is as well. So just keep that in mind when it is that, we go through this process. This actually takes me to the next part I was trying to explain to you, the claims process. After we complete an evaluation of that, and that kind of is the quantification part of it, there's the negotiation and settlement part of it. And that's what I'm hearing that, it seems like the negotiations kind of got started. And you had an expectation that they obviously were not agreeable to at that point. But we're still moving through the process.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing is we want to try and get this done sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I just want to move forward. I'm stranded here. I'm literally feel like I'm being held hostage in Edmonton, that I can't go forward because I can't move the stuff out of storage, or I'm going to be accused of damages, because Shailene was going to come out on Friday. I don't know if that's still happening, because I don't have receipts. I'm like, how is that even related? But she was going to come out to the storage unit on Friday, and maybe, that somebody should come out and verify it, so that I don't know what to do with this stuff. I don't want it because it's damaged, and do you know what I'm saying? I move it, and then I'm going to get accused of damaging it even further, and I'm in a pickle here. I'm in a bind. I hope you can kind of understand, see what I'm saying. I didn't think it'd be this long, and it's also not in a climatized storage area. It's in an outside storage, which is fine so far, but it's getting close to winter, and it's when I was in Toronto and I had a storage unit there, it was indoor heated, and that's do you know what I mean? It's either way, it's got to be moved. Whether I move it in Edmonton to a heated unit, or I move it to Calgary to a heated unit, it's got to get out of a winter storage facility, because I run a business out of that storage unit too. Partly that's had damages 100% to it as well, that we haven't even talked about. So those are, there's so many things that we haven't had discussions. Shailene and actually I won't say Shailene and Colleen, I'm sure they agreed to this, but Shailene was the one that wrote it, and she says to keep the conversation, I forget what word she used, we're only speak by email, and that infuriates me, because we're getting nowhere. And I'd ask them questions, they don't answer, and I'm like, this is why email's not working, because I'm not getting the answers to the questions I'm asking, and so we're just going around and around and getting nowhere. And so I don't know. Yeah, I'm
So Dana, I heard in our conversation that you spoke about an experience that you had with your own insurance company. They came out the next day, they picked up your stuff, everything was, pretty much went smoothly. Right?
Yeah, and I was hoping this would too, right? And it should. I don't know why it wouldn't.
Actually, I'm going to actually stop you there, because the difference here is that your insurance company, you paid them insurance to protect your property, or when something happens to your property, you have a contract with your insurance company, and when something gets damaged as a result of something that is covered in your contract, they are supposed to respond right away. In this situation, where it's different, yes, you've got a contract, but we don't, when I say we, I'm just talking about Penske and Gallagher Bassett per se. They don't directly insure your property.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're not your insurance company for your property.
Yeah.
So
it's a third-party liability, right? That's what this is.
Pardon me?
This is a liability case.
Yes, that's what I was talking about before, the liability aspect, because this is, this is civil. This is not a criminal case or anything like that. We're dealing with a civil matter, and civil matters are kind of determined based on liability and damages. As I mentioned before, those would be two separate items.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of where all of this comes.
Yeah. But please understand. That's right. Please understand that every day is ruining my life. Every day is damaging my life, because the longer this goes on, I'm in Edmonton. Like, I have nothing. Everything's I'm living out of a suitcase. My stuff is in storage. This isn't a way to live, right? Like, to the point I don't even want to be in the city, and I've left a few times to leave, and to even like shop for items that were damaged. I've done that. But every day that this goes on is damage to my life, and it's interfering with my happiness and my situation. So it's kind of, because I can't just, like, I can't move the stuff, and I don't want to stay in this situation like this.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're actually, doing some of the things that I was going to also explain, where damages are concerned or quantum, and that is mitigation. And mitigation just means that you just can't throw your hands up and say, woe is me, pay me everything. You have to do what you can to mitigate or reduce the overall amount of damages that you would be claiming or seeking as recovery. So, when you're looking for other stuff, you did that. You found items that, are, I believe, perhaps like kind of quality. Like I said, I haven't reviewed your file in detail at this point. I'm just trying to listen to you. And, that would be taken into consideration as well. So, where are we right now? At this point in time, I think that I hope I've done a few things for you insofar as at least, you getting a hold of somebody, in management that has heard your situation. What I pledge to do at this point in time is to go back, take all of the information that you've just given me, review that against the file. I know that you just said that every single day this is pretty much tormenting your life. Let me see what it is that our side have done, i.e. Colleen and Shailene. Let me see what it is that they've done, and see how it is that we can try and move this forward. The other thing that I just need to explain to you is that we take our instructions from Penske. So we don't have the authority to just throw out hundreds of thousands of dollars to anyone at any point in time. We need authority to present any offer to you. So even that $10,000 that was provided to you, offered to you, we had to have authority for that.
Yeah.
So I just want you to understand that as well. That, they are, we are reporting to somebody as well. And that somebody is our ultimate decision maker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'd like a couple other details. I heard you say that you cracked your ninth rib. I heard you say that you went to the doctor. I heard you also talk about your business being affected. I heard you say that there are other things that were not discussed.
Yeah.
Why don't we go over those things right now, just to make sure that I have a fulsome appreciation for what it is that this situation involves.
Okay, I'm gonna say the number one most pressing issue right now is I need to get a hotel paid for here in Edmonton or anywhere while this is going on. That's a priority. I'm stuck and I need a place to stay.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah.
So in these such matters, like I said, we're not the insurance company or anything like that. The only way that all of it, like, we can't issue what I would kind of call an advance payment. We can't.
Yeah, I still haven't been paid for the hotel in Saskatchewan, so I don't. And if I was to, I added this up and I sent them a notice that if I was to have paid just that same price, I'd be at $22,000 for a hotel. I can't do that. I need a place to stay. I can't wait until this is, until this is negotiated.
Yeah, like I said, the only way that this is going to get resolved is on a full and final basis, and that's where, like I said, if you had wanted the $10,000, that's what they were offering at that point in time. They would have been prepared to, cut a check for you at that point in time.
Yeah, and that's silly, right? That was.
Right. Well, that was unacceptable for you, but I'm just saying that.
I think it's an insult that they would even offer that, to be honest. And I flew back from Los Angeles, and I would rather be there than here. I'm in Edmonton, like that's damages enough, right? I have trauma from this city. I have bad things that I don't like being here. Even just that alone is damages. Like, I'm being forced to live in a city where I've had some really bad things happen to me. I don't want to be here. And I came back 2 weeks ago to meet with Shailene and Colleen for the most pathetic, disgraceful offer. Like, how would you even dare do that? Even just the broken rib alone is worth more than 20 grand. Or sorry, 10 grand.
We've all been handling,
right?
I'm not sure where you're getting your numbers from, because we're claims handlers who handle these things for days and years. We've all, between Colleen and myself, we've got octogenarian numbers insofar as experience is concerned. We're very experienced people with years and years of experience. We know how to quantify injuries. $20,000 for a rib injury would, I can't see that happening.
Well, you know what? Absolutely it can, because it prevented me from moving boxes. It prevented me from working. It prevented me from doing anything, pretty much. It's 100%. So I think that's it's untrue. It shouldn't. That's, when you can't move your ribs and you can't lift things, that's an injury that's with you, still is. I was coughing and I can still feel it. It's healing. It's a lot better. But then the doctor said this might be with me for up to a year. I might still find pain. And so that 100%, I was thinking $10,000, that's a low blow. It's an insult. And I think just even receiving it was just inappropriate, and especially that I flew in from Los Angeles. I said to Shailene, I'm like, you know what, I had to sit in the airport for 5 hours. I had to go through customs. I had to sit on a plane for 3.5 hours. Then I had to come here and go through customs. Then I had to go from the airport to downtown to work on the file response, because it was such short notice, and I did provide one, and then show up at her office, and all she had to do was go down the elevator. So I'm sorry, but I think my time is worth a lot more than that, and it was just, I think, in bad taste. I think that's, and Penske being the top-notch company, that you'd think that they would understand what they've done and that they would step up and make it right. It's what's it to them? It's nothing. They're not dealing with the stress that they're just going on with their day, because they're a billion-dollar company. They don't care that I'm going through this trauma. They don't care. And that's what's really sad about our society, and that's what bothers me. I have another issue with it. You know what? I'm just going to tell you this much. It's deja vu all over again. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself here in Edmonton, because you're in Toronto, and I lived in Toronto for 3 years. I moved there. So I'm here in Edmonton. I owned a business, a physical retail store in this city, and I owned it for 18 years. I'm an entrepreneur. And when I spoke up about a billion-dollar company thinking I should work for free and thinking all of us retailers should work for free. And I wrote a post on Facebook about it, and it went viral. And I was told next day I had this $1 billion mega mall company come into my store and demand that I take the post down. And when I said no, they stole my entire merchandise, $1 million worth of product and store fixtures, and they got away with it because they're above the law. And they think that they can do this because whatever reason, they're above the law. And so I've already experienced $1 billion company telling me that my product is worthless, and they injured me and they got away with it. And that doesn't sit right with me. And that's where this Edmonton is, and I'm here in this city, and I don't want to be here. I don't like the city. I have friends and family because I lived here, but this was not supposed to be a permanent drop-off space for my stuff, and it has been. So, here we got Penske again telling me, $1 billion company as Penske, telling me my stuff is worthless, and it's like deja vu.
Okay, so there are some points that we're going to need to agree to disagree. That's unfortunate. That really is just the way that's going to be. I just want to be fair and frank with you. When I say fair, I just mean upfront about what the situation is. I have not reviewed the violent detail just yet.
Yeah.
I have been in meetings pretty much all day. I actually missed a couple of meetings since we've been on the phone. But what I pledge to do is review the file. Tomorrow is Thursday. What I'd like to do is get back to you by Friday, just to see where we're at. If there's anything more that can be done, we can try and reconcile. But like I said, I was trying to hear a little bit more. I started into the injury. You talked about your business as well. I don't know what the situation is there, but the one thing that, if I can be honest with you, I know that it seems like a lot of things have happened to you, but we can't connect everything. I just don't want to offend you. I want to choose the right words, but, it's not all Penske's fault.
Well, if Penske would, fix this immediately, instead of it dragging on for 6 months, it's been Penske's fault. Because I can't move forward. I'm stranded. I'm stuck here, and what do I do?
Right. So, again,
it's been part injury, it's been part...
You've got options too. Like, if you're not happy with the way things are going, you have options too, right? So,
not really.
Like,
I mean,
not
really. I don't really. My stuff is here, and I haven't even had anyone come and pick up the damaged items so I can deal with this storage unit. I've asked that so many times. Hasn't happened.
That's your property. We can't come and pick that up. We can't come and pick. It's not our property.
Yeah, but it's being held hostage, because if I move it, then the damage will become my fault, and I'll be blamed from damage if I move it out of this.
Documented it, right?
You know what? I've documented it, and it doesn't seem to be enough, and this is why I feel like we're, it's frustrating, because Shailene hasn't been out there. She was going to come out she came out once, and she did look briefly over at it, and then she was going to come out again on Friday, and I don't know if that meeting is still on, but because I don't have receipts, that became an issue, and she hasn't replied to the emails that I sent her and Colleen yesterday. It's not fair, and I am being held hostage here. It is Penske's fault. It is 100%. It shouldn't have taken 6 months. It should have been dealt with a long time ago. And then when you read into insurance claims, and you'll see that, Gallagher Bassett has 17 negative reviews, or 1-star reviews. And I read that, and I'm feeling like insurance companies are right where lawyers and mega mall owners they're all the same. It's a runaround, and the big guys just like to gobble up the little guys, and that's what it feels like it's happening again. And it's like I'm being taken advantage of. I'm going around in a loop and not getting anywhere. And finally I just said, you know what, enough. I'm like, I have to find another solution, because I was not getting anywhere. It's been 6 months and all I've got is a $10,000 offer. It's like, come on. And I mean, I need a place to stay, so what do? I don't want to pay a hotel here in Edmonton. I shouldn't have to. Like, I think that's the absolute bare minimum that they can do right now.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. They're not going to do that. But what I can say, like I said, is I want to review this. I'd like to get back to you on Friday. I did call you today. I would like to call you back on Friday if we can agree on that, and take it from there. That's really what I can say. It's not the ideal response. I know you're looking to resolve this. That's what I want to do. For me, I want to see that all of our files get resolved as quickly as possible and as fairly as possible. But that all rests on the facts, right? And like I said, we've got competing interests here. You've got your position, and Penske will have its own position. So at some point in time...
and that's, in all due fairness, I mean, I haven't heard Penske's position at all. We haven't talked about anything, and that's...
Penske's position. They offered you an insulting $10,000.
Yeah, but that didn't...
That's what you told me.
Yeah, that is, I mean...
They came back with a position. You just were not happy with it.
Yeah, it just wasn't explanatory as to what the why or anything, right? Like, I mean...
But they don't have to. Like, that's
No.
what I, like...
No, they don't, right? But it's like, at one point is...
You know, I do a lot of negotiations with people. And, if whenever I negotiate with somebody, I'm always really trying to figure out, what exactly is it that's driving this person? Is it principle? Is it, what is it that's driving that person? And I'm hearing a lot of resentment towards larger companies, and feeling that they're taking advantage of you.
Well, I mean, this has totally been taken advantage of. I mean, who has 6 months to just wait and do nothing with their lives stuck in Edmonton? Like, that's what I've been forced to do, and pay for it. I mean, I've, had to finance myself being here for 6 months. And that's taking advantage of me. That's 100% taking advantage of me. And that's not right. This should have been dealt with a long time ago. I've provided all the damaged items, and but we haven't even talked about anything else. Like, I've tried telling them, like, I didn't have access to a computer or internet. So anytime I needed a computer, and my computers are broken. And so I can't work off of a cell phone. I've had to travel downtown to work. And every time I do that, I have to eat out. It's financial, it is, and I'm being taken advantage of, and I don't consent to that. It's not right. And they just feel that let's just hold on, let's just drag this on more and more and more until she gets frustrated. And this is all over the internet that the insurance companies do this, that they drag it on and they delay things until hoping you just take the $10,000 and say, yeah, I don't deserve anything. I just this company has the money to pay for it, and they're holding off. Why? What's the delay? What needs to be done? Everything is, it's just adding up and mounting damages every day is all it's doing. I mean, the damages are there for the damaged items. That should have been done like months ago. The damaged items are there. It's all documented. I've said, Shailene, come out and look at them. Take your own pictures. You're going to have, and then that's what I said to her. I'm like, so you're going to come out, you're going to take pictures. You want me to haul these stuff. So they want me to take all the stuff out of the storage unit, and so they can look at it. They don't want to touch anything or help me move anything. They're leaving it all on me. They're not paying me to do this. They want me to do it all take it out, so that they can take the same pictures that I've already taken for them. So now they'll have those pictures, 3 sets of them. They'll have their own now, and they can look at it. So I'm fine with that. But where's that going to get us? Then what? The next day I'm going to have to pull them all back in, reorganize the storage unit, and I'm the one that has to work again. I'm like, it's always me doing the work, and then they don't do it. You just throw $10,000 out of nowhere, and hope she just snaps and bites it, right? And that's not fair. I'm sorry, it's just not ethical, right? It's like, they know they screwed up. It's like, make it right, and don't drag this on for another 2 months. Like it's frustrating that it's still dragged on. The damages haven't changed as far as the items, unless I come across something else that's damaged, and then there is more stuff that's damaged. Like, I've got books that are damaged and papers that were all over the place, and I just didn't put them in there because I'm like, just pay for this stuff and move forward. I need to I want to put this behind me. I don't care about this stuff anymore. Now it's got a really bad taste in my mouth for having to fight over this. It's shitty that it happened, and some of the stuff is irreplaceable. But you can't go back and fix it, and it's just been a really horrible situation, and it's put me in a bad position that I'm still dealing with it, and it's inconvenienced my life for 6 months. And I do feel like there's no reason for the delay, and this is why I've stepped up and I've said enough. I'm just gonna be on the phone with everybody I can until I get results, because I can't just sit there and hope Shailene and Colleen figure it out, or it'll be another 6 months, or until until lawsuit statute of limitations is up, and then we get away with it, and that's what they hope for, right? And that's not cool either, right?
Just because, I've been doing this for a long time. Everybody's going to have, their thoughts about insurance companies, lawyers, whatever it is. I don't work like that. Whoever it is that is doing that, good for them. It's not the way that I work. What I will say at this point in time is that I think that I've heard all of your concerns, or at least as much as you've been prepared to discuss. We've been on the phone now for over an hour. I do need to wrap this up. I did tell you what I was going to do. I think that I've shown that I've listened to you, and that I'm taking your concerns seriously, and that I pledged, like I said, to get back to you on Friday after it is that I've reviewed all of the information and see if there's anything more that can be done to move this towards some resolution.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So, like I said, I will call you back on Friday. Is there a particular time that works for you? I will not be available between 2 and 4 Eastern time, which is, if you're in Edmonton, that's 2 hours behind. So, I won't be available between, what is that, 2 and 4, 2 o'clock.
12 and 2.
Time is 12 and, that's right, 12 and 2. So 12 and 2 your time.
Okay. Well, you can call me in the morning, whenever. Yeah.
Friday.
I'd like to get this, dealt with.
What I can say, I tried to explain the claims process to you, right? The investigation, the quantification, all of that, the negotiation, the settlement, and all of that. I tried to explain all of that. Where we seem to be having a bit of an issue, I can tell you at this point in time, is the quantification, because we don't have value. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I haven't seen the volume, so I haven't seen your spreadsheet.
I do have business, issues that I have, as injured. There's a lot of stuff, and I mean, I haven't been compensated for anything, and I just think it's way past overdue. 6 months. Like, how long do you anticipate this to take to resolve?
I don't know. I'm going to look at your file and I'm going to...
Well, I've gone through and I've put prices beside almost every item that was damaged. What I haven't put a price towards is...
You said that you sent them all of this information. You sent them pictures, etc. Let me have a look at the file. Like I said, my primary focus at this point in time is to call you back. Make sure you got a call back as soon as possible so that we could acknowledge your concern. That was the purpose of my call.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I hope this just goes for. I really don't know why it needs to drag on much longer. I mean. Is there a reason it needs to drag on much longer? Like, is there something that is, I don't know.
We don't have, we report to our clients, right? We just don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting around, waiting. We have to have approval for whatever it is, whatever it is that is offered to you.
Yeah.
Has to go through a process, as you can imagine. As a business owner, right? You should know that, you have to be able to account for everything. And we have to be able to prove what it is that we're recommending to our client, right? And at this point in time, part of what I can see as being a little bit of an issue is the fact that we, and to no fault of yours, you don't have receipts for your furniture, etc.
No, I mean,
I'm just
and that's, sorry?
It's not, people don't keep receipts forever. You know what I mean? But I'm saying that in the absence of receipts.
But for a lot of the stuff, I was able to locate, like, the identical item. For example, I had some Roche-Bobois bar stools that were damaged, and I found comparable stools online with the same hydraulic system, the lift, but they had a different bar stool top, and so I put those in there as a comparable, and then I saw my stool on there. It didn't have a price. When I was in Montreal, I went into the store, I got the actual price of the exact stool that I still have. They still sell it. So I mean, there should be no argument there of what that chair is worth. I mean, you can call and get that price yourself, right? So it's the same stool. They still sell the extra cushions that I bought. So I mean, I don't know why we would even have an argument over the price of something like that. Not everything is that clear cut, but I mean, just the stools alone are worth $6,000 and $68, I think, when you add the cushions, and then that includes the $10,000 offer. So I'm like, where are we having this disconnect?
This is very fundamental, and this is actually very, very important. Let me ask you this. If you thought that all of that was worth $6,000, would you be expecting Penske to pay you $6,000?
For, you mean just the stools?
Yeah, or your damaged items, whatever.
100%. Like, they damaged it, so replace it. That's the only fair thing to do. It's like, if you broke something of somebody else's, replace it.
Let's stop there if I can. You think that because they damaged it, they should replace it?
Yeah, I do. 100%. Why would it be any other way? I mean...
Because that law, they're not responsible for replacing it. Your insurance company, that's what I was explaining to you before. If you have insurance on your item and you have replacement costs on your policy, that would replace it.
That's if I damaged it, I would be accepting of that, but I didn't. I'm not the faulty person. It's their error. They should do the right thing and pay for what they've damaged. 100%. Why wouldn't they? Why would it be any? Why should I take the loss at all on this? Yeah.
Excuse me, Dana. What I'm trying to tell you is that they're not responsible for replacement costs. That's where I'm going with all of this.
Okay, but is that right? Is that correct?
This is not just Dana. This is anybody who brings a lawsuit to court. Okay? They don't get replacement costs.
So I should pay for the difference because I
They get the actual cash value of
Yeah.
their property at the time that it was damaged. Okay? That's what it is. You don't get replacement costs for your items just because, like, if you damage something that was 5 years old and you have the replacement cost now, you don't get the replacement cost for it. You get replacement cost less depreciation.
Yeah, and not everything depreciates, right? Some things depreciate. If you can't get them anymore and they become rare, they appreciate. Not everything depreciates. And I just, this is just an ethics thing. Like, I mean, I'm a woman. I spent my hard money to buy those items, and they got damaged through no fault of my own. Penske should just do the right thing. It shouldn't be about the law. This is what the law said. It's just ethics. It's just dignity and respect. And it's just, and I'm sorry. Yes, we'll do whatever it takes to just make this situation right. And we're sorry it happened. And, that's the way a really respectable, ethical company should be. I mean, it's just, I didn't do the damage. I know it was an accident. I don't think the tow truck driver even thought about it. I don't think he maliciously damaged my stuff. Penske, just called him up trying to get me. I was stuck on the middle of the road, in the middle of nowhere, and it was -18. I came from Toronto. I wasn't dressed for the occasion. I had flip-flops on, and I ended up in snow. And I was by myself, not knowing if anyone would show up. So it was a scary situation that I had to go through with the breakdown. But I would think Penske would just understand and be human instead of just be corporate greed and just it's all about the money and the replacement cost. It's like, do the right thing. Like when do big companies just step up and just do the right thing? And the right thing is, yeah, you know what? Those are my $6,000 bar stools. Pay for them. Like I didn't damage them. They're the exact same bar stools. You can buy them now. Why should I have to pay any part of that? It's a unfortunate situation that happened, but it's not my fault. I didn't tow the items, and I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, but I'm the one that has to take the loss.
Okay. So like I said, what I'm going to do is I will give you a call back on Friday. You need time to review this file and see what's in there, what it is that you submitted, what it is that has been said back and forth. And like I said, I'll come back to you and I'll see, what the situation is or what it is that I can tell you to where this is going.
Okay, like I haven't even had a discussion with Colleen about any of the items, anything, even with Shailene. Like, it's just, I did all the work and I spent a lot of time doing the work, and not to even talk about it. We haven't even gone through the list. Like, it would have been the most logical thing. Like, okay, I've spent this much on storage. This is what I should be refunded on the storage. I should be refunded on, like, there's a lot of things I should be refunded on, and it shouldn't be a depreciation of, it's just, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. This is my thoughts on this. I'm like, if you wrong somebody, it's like, make it right. And Penske's a big corporation, right? Are they really going to be nickeling and diming over bar stool depreciation when they damaged my bar stools?
After I have a look at
It's really petty if you ask, you know what I mean? It's like if you went into the bar and you saw a girl there and you accidentally knocked her drink over, would you buy her a new drink, or would you say, oh, I'm sorry, it's depreciation, you had a couple of sips, I'm only gonna buy you a half a drink? Because it's like, I mean, that's exactly what Like when you put it in the terms like that, it sounds so gaudy and just bad human. Do you know what I mean? It's a perfect example. You accidentally knock over her drink. Would you buy her a full drink? Would you buy her a brand new drink, or would you only buy her a half a drink? I'm asking you as a man. It's the same thing. You go into a bar, you accidentally knock a woman's drink out of her hand.
Totally different.
What if you do this?
A drink. We're talking about $6,000 bar stool.
No, it's the same thing. What if you spilled her drink?
So when I'm talking to you, you're talking based on principle, and I'm talking to you based on the law, right? So we're gonna have to try and figure that out. Right.
So we can take this one step forward. So you bump into her, you knock her drink out of her hand, and it spills on her outfit. So what do? Do you
Dana, I'm dealing in reality here.
It is reality. This is just like this is reality. I mean, the fact that in the law is making it so that you can injure another person and not compensate them, especially when Penske is well within the means to take care of this entire bill, instead of dragging it out and making me deal with this trauma every day, they're dragging it out. And that's not right. They have the means to have settled this 4 months ago.
Like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a call back on Friday.
Yeah.
Friday morning, that's what you've asked for. Let me have a look at the information in detail, and let me see what it is that I can provide as an update to you.
Okay. What is your email, please? I'm going to send you a link of the damaged items. I'm going to send you that.
Gregory?
Yeah.
_
Thank you. I'll send you at least the breakdown of the damaged items. If we could deal with that in immediate, does everything have to be all dealt with at once, or can it be dealt with in parts? Like if we got this item stuff that's in the back, all the damaged tow truck item. Okay, so part of this, let me just kind of go over this damage thing too, because the damages are incurred two ways in this in the back of the truck contents. There was a whole bunch of rust that was on the back interior door hatch, like the whole back, and I photographed it, and that rust got on these bar stools, that rust got on my mattress, and my candle holder, a whole bunch of stuff. And so that's one part of the damage, is the rust, whether that was accelerated because of the towing, pushing the items into the back door, which it did, to get the rust on them, or whether the towing had no factor. The rust is separate from the towing, or it could have been a combined issue. But and then there's the towing where, it wasn't towed on a flatbed, and it was towed twice on a angle, and then all the contents just shifted to the front. So there's two different sections of the damages, and that's all on this list. And I don't know if that makes a difference, having if there's two different reasons of damage, right?
Like I said, I'm going to have a look at all of the information, and like I said, I'm not committing to anything because I don't know what the liability situation is.
Yeah.
And if there's no liability, then there can't be any payment for damages. But again, you have to look at all of the information to see what we have and what we don't.
Mm-hmm.
So let me do that and get back to you on Friday morning.
Okay.
And we'll take it from there.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Yeah.
Take
Bye.
care. You're welcome. Bye-bye.